Hi YouTubers, welcome to another episode of All Things DIY. Now today, I'm going to talk to you about tensioning your drive belt, your serpentine belt, your what we'd in the old days call the alternator belt. So on the Yaris, there are two bolts which you have to loosen and tighten to do the job. One is the lock nut here, and the one is the alternator pivot bolt, which is directly beneath the alternator. This is a 12mm nut, or bolt I should say, and the one beneath is a 14mm bolt. The access to the alternator pivot bolt is very awkward. You can get a 14mm spanner in there, but it's not easy. So you need to loosen that bolt and loosen this bolt. Don't take them out, just make sure that they're not tight anymore. So a 12mm spanner will loosen that bolt. That one, fine. A 14mm spanner will loosen this guy down beneath the alternator. Fine. Then, when it comes to actually tension the belt, you need a torque wrench. The top one, a 12mm, you tension to 18mm. That's that bolt, the top bolt. The bottom one is 14mm, and if you have an offset extension wrench, it makes it so much easier because you can't really get the torque wrench in there unless you have a very narrow-headed torque wrench. You're not going to get it in there, and I couldn't get mine in even with just a 14mm socket on there. It just would not fit. But this guy, you can actually get it in there, and I'm actually putting it onto the nut now. So it's actually on the nut now. So you put the torque wrench into the top of this guy, and you can click it up to 54 Newton meters, which is the lower torque setting. So this tool was incredibly useful. I actually got this off Facebook, this offset extension wrench, and really was worth having. I don't know if I could have torqued the bolt without it, honestly. Now, the belt itself, you have to put your finger on the middle of the belt, and you can just maybe see my finger in the distance there. In the middle, between the two pulleys, you have to bounce the belt with your finger and see how much you can depress it. Now it's quite tight actually. You should be able to press the belt down about 4 to 5mm. And you'll know if you got the tension right if it doesn't chirp when you start the car. So yeah, 4mm downward press on the belt, that's all. What I've also done is I've actually marked the lock nut. So when it was brand new, I tried it on that one setting. I tightened it to the second setting, and it actually even chirped after 100 kilometers. So I've now put it to the third setting, so I can see whether the bolt has slid backward or not by the markings. So yeah, not a difficult job. If you do have to replace the belt, you actually need to loosen those two nuts, slide the alternator right backward in the car. I had to remove this camshaft reading sensor plug-in because it was actually getting in the way, and this lead was getting all crunched up, so I just unplugged it. So if you do that, remember to plug it in. So if you loosen those two bolts, you slide the alternator backward, you can actually thread the new belt. It goes around that pulley and around the two lower pulleys and back up through there. So you must check your manual for that to see how it is routed. This car has no power steering, so it uses the 1210 belt. If you have power steering, you use a different belt. Always take your old belt off and measure it against the new belt to see that you got the right belt. This one was called a PKT 1210, 1210 millimeters. Right, hope that helps you with your Yaris. Cheerio.